All right, you guys. So today we are going to get a look at the Star Wars Vintage Collection Mandalorian Imperial Trooper Transport, guys. So really cool stuff, guys. We're going to get a very close look at this vehicle. I'm sure there's going to be lots of very nice detail on this particular vehicle. The vehicles in the vintage line have been top-notch with the detail and weathering on their vehicles. So let's see if the Trooper Transport is going to live up to that standard, guys. So first we're going to get a look at the box. So let's go ahead and get a look at the box. We have a illustration of the Trooper Transport with several Stormtrooper figures on the inside and then a few figures on the outside. We also have a very cool diorama setting where you see there has been a TIE fighter that has crash landed in the background. So really good box art for our vintage collection Mandalorian Imperial Trooper Transport here, guys. So disclaimer here on the box, which simply states figures not included. And then we have that in several different languages there. And then we also have another picture of the transport with the figures on the inside of the driver's cockpit. And we also show the door open on that vehicle. So that is really cool stuff there, guys. And then of course we have our Kenner logo, Disney, Hasbro logo, some of our warning information there, vintage logo, the Mandalorian Star Wars logo with the Star Wars banner around the outside of the illustration there. There's a look at the front of the box. And then for your side of the box, you have a very cool illustration of the gun turret. The gun barrels themselves move up and down, and then the turret moves left to right there. So that is really cool stuff there. And then just underneath that, you see where your troopers are transported or where they're stored during transport. And then you also see the top part of the vehicle with the opening door. So that is some really cool stuff there as well, guys. And then of course, once again, you have your Star Wars logo with the banner wrapped around the Mandalorian Imperial Trooper Transport, and then your Kenner logo right at the bottom. And then for the other side of the box, you see again where the whole top portion of the vehicle can be removed, which reveals your troopers who are sitting on the inside. And then of course you have your troopers that are on the outside with their weapons drawn. And then you also see the back door lift that opens up as well. So this particular vehicle has a lot of moving parts. And then for the top side of our box, we have again an illustration of the vehicle itself with the doors open, a front view of the vehicle, and you see your two front positions there, one being a driver, perhaps both are drivers in this vehicle. I do not have any experience on this particular vehicle. Unfortunately, I only know what I've seen in the movies thus far. So it's really exciting to get this vehicle in hand. Again, we have our Star Wars logo wrapped around the Mandalorian logo, Imperial Trooper Transport, Kenner. Very, very cool stuff there, guys. And then for the bottom portion of the box, again, we have the same image that we get on the front and back portions of the box. Underneath the box, our Hasbro and Kenner logo, and then of course all of our warning information there as well, guys. So we're going to pop this baby open, get a look at all of the detail and all of the weathering, all of the moving parts on this particular vehicle, guys. So let's go ahead and get started with the review of this vehicle. All right, guys, so we have our vehicle out of the box, and very, very impressive first impressions out of the box with this particular vehicle in regards to the look and the weathering on this vehicle. Right out of the box, you can definitely see that there is plenty of weathering and detail on this vehicle. Not even doing a close examination, you can tell there was a lot of attention to the detail and weathering on the vehicle. As you can see, I don't know if the camera is catching it quite as well as I'm seeing it here, but you can see there's a lot of dust and dirt. Just nice weathering. You have patches here and there as well, scratches and various markings throughout the vehicle. Just some really lovely stuff, guys. And that's just one side of the vehicle. We haven't even got to look at the front, back, or the other side of this particular vehicle. But let's go ahead and get you guys a closer look at this vehicle. So getting you guys a much closer look at the vehicle. As you can see, very nice detail on the vehicle. On the back side of the vehicle, you have your door that opens up, and we'll get a look at all of the opening doors and hatches and whatnot in just a moment. But I wanted to get you guys a closer look at the wonderful detail that you get on the vehicle. As you can see here, guys, the damage on the door, and again, lots of grime and dirt on there. Very nicely done throughout the vehicle. And then back around to the front of the vehicle, guys. So let's get a look at the opening doors, hatches, and whatnot. So guys, before we get a look at the actual articulation on the vehicle, I wanted to show you some of the illustrations that come with the instructions, just real briefly. So as you can see, a lot of moving parts here. So that's very cool. And again, we'll get a more realistic look at all of this in just a moment. So for your opening door on the side of the vehicle, you have the one opening door there that opens up. These other doors here actually do not open up, unfortunately. So that's a little disappointing. They are molded shut. So I guess you're supposed to put your trooper on the inside that way. So that's unfortunate. I thought all 6 doors would open up. I don't see why that would have been an issue on this vehicle. And I'm not sure if any of the previous versions of this vehicle only have the front doors opening and not the side doors. But again, I just feel like that's a little disappointing, and these doors should be able to open. All the doors should be articulated, in my opinion. So for your front doors, they open up from the side, and then of course both doors are articulated, so you can open them up. And that's really cool stuff there. Getting you a look at the interior of the door. You have a panel, some kind of lever there. Maybe that's the opening mechanism, and something else here. Don't know exactly what that is, but that's a look of the inside door panel. And then again, another look on the inside. Just trying to get you guys a better look on the inside as best I can. So there you go, guys, really cool stuff there. And you have your opening hatch here. So there's a hatch that opens on the top. So to remove your top of the vehicle, kind of squeeze the top in a bit, and it comes right off right there. And then getting you guys a better look on the inside, you have your flooring here. You actually have your storage for your weapons there. That rack up against the wall there is where you would store your weapons. And then you have seating right there, guys, and I hope you can see that. Try to get it in there a little bit closer. And the seats fold down right here, so you would fold each seat down. And then you have your other seat here that folds down as well. So you have those 2 seats right there that fold down in the vehicle. Getting you guys a look at the detail on the wall as best I can. And there's your seating. There's some really, really nice stuff there, guys. And then on the other side as well, You have 2 more seats. They fold down as well. So there are your 2 seats. And then there's a look at all 4 seats as they are unfolded. And that's, I do apologize guys, but that's about as good as I'm gonna be able to get to show you guys all 4 seats, but maybe we'll get a top shot as well. Now in this corner right here as well on the other side, there is 2 more seats there. But those 2 seats are just for show. They are not articulated. They are molded in the fold up position and obviously are not articulated like the 4 middle seats that we just looked at. And then for the back side of your vehicle, the back hatch opens up to reveal the inside of your vehicle. We'll get you guys a much closer look at the inside of the vehicle from the back. So that's some really, really nice stuff there, guys. Really cool stuff. So you have some really cool moving parts and opening doors on your Imperial Trooper Transport. However, it is disappointing that the 2 back doors on both sides of the vehicle are not articulated. They do not open, but you do have the main doors that open up as well. And then the 2 front compartments where the doors open up. And of course you have the top that is removable. And then you have the back door as well that opens up. So really nice stuff there. That is really, really cool stuff. And then for your gun turret in the back, has very, very good articulation all the way around, 360. So that is really, really awesome. And then you also have up and down articulation. And it seems to be pretty good where if you want it to stay up, it'll stay up, where it won't slide down. But time will tell whether wear will cause this to get too loose, and eventually you just probably won't be able to get it to sit up in that up position, depending on how often you use it. So you do have that articulation as well. Really cool vehicle. A couple of little disappointing things here and there on the vehicle, but for the most part, I am very pleased with this particular vehicle. So I wanted to give you guys a look at the vehicle with some of our figures on the inside. So obviously, as you can see, we have a couple of our stormtroopers here in the little side pods here on the side of the Imperial Trooper Transport. So as you can see, very cool looking with the troopers on the inside. Not quite sure if it is to scale, which more than likely none of its predecessors were up to scale either. But it just seems to me that this particular vehicle is a bit out of scale for the 3 1/4 size figures, guys. You'll see what I mean a little bit more when we get into some of the other positions that the figures can take in this particular vehicle. So to get you guys a look at the driver seating position, and we're using a couple of our remnant stormtroopers here, and just wanting to give you guys a closer look at the positioning of the figures. We do have his hand on the steering mechanism, and by the way, the steering mechanism, and I don't know if you guys can see that with the light there, but the steering mechanism has a ball joint on it, so it allows the steering mechanism as well as the screen, and I hope you guys can see that as well, but the screen and steering mechanism is able to not only move back and forth, but left to right and actually spin all the way around. So that is really cool if you ever desire that type of positioning for the steering wheel, and then getting you a better look at some of the instruments and controls on the inside. But there are your remnant stormtroopers who are positioned on the inside cockpit of the vehicle. And then for the inside look of the vehicle, as you guys can see, we have a couple of stormtroopers sitting in their chairs, and we'll get a better look once we take the top off. But I wanted you guys to get a look at the opening hatch of the vehicle from a top side view. And then once we remove the hatch, we get a much better view of our troopers on the inside, guys. So just wanted to get you guys a closer look at our troopers. And of course, these troopers are from a couple of different lines in the Star Wars line of figures. These are not all vintage figures. Of course, the remnant figures are vintage. So another little minor gripe with this vehicle is the spacing. Again, the scale seems to be a bit off. You don't really have the proper room you should have for your figures to sit in the seats. And then as you can see, the figure there is not fully sitting on the seat. And the reason for that is because each stormtrooper, each one of my stormtroopers has a side holster, which is pretty long and kind of disrupts the figure's ability to sit in the seat properly. So if you look at the two figures there, they're kind of sitting more to the right-hand side of the seat from my perspective and the camera perspective, instead of sitting flush in the middle of the seat. And again, the reasoning for that is for the side holster for those figures. So really cool stuff. Now I was able to get the Black Series Sand Trooper that you guys see there with the orange pauldron. I do not believe he has a side holster, so I was able to get him to sit a bit more flush in the seat, as well as this guy here. I forget what line this particular guy is, but he is not vintage either. So again, just a little minor gripe or issue in regards to the scale and spacing, the seat spacing on the inside of the vehicle. And then getting you guys a view from the back door of the vehicle with our troopers on the inside. So really, really cool. Nice stuff there. So that is very, very awesome stuff there, guys. So I wanted to get you guys a look at some of the additional detail on this particular vehicle. So underneath the lid, or the top portion of the vehicle, you have all of this very nice detail here at the top. It can only obviously be seen if you hold it upside down. You wouldn't be able to see this inside the vehicle any type of way. Perhaps maybe if you had the back hatch open with enough lighting in there, you might be able to see the top of the vehicle and all of this wonderful detail. But very, very nice job on the detail there. And then here underneath what would be the top there, the top that we just looked at goes over this particular piece here. So you have some very cool detail there. Then again, on the inside of the vehicle, the flooring, Very, very awesome stuff. And then for the bottom side of your vehicle, now you do have vents there, maybe engines there that would allow it to hover, because this is a hovering vehicle. It does not roll in the Star Wars universe anyway. But obviously, we do not have hovering technology, or this vehicle doesn't have hover technology. So you do have the two wheels there in the back and the one wheel here in the front that allows the vehicle to roll on very smooth surfaces. But just to give you some nice detail, they do have hover ports underneath the vehicle, just to give you that added detail. So that is really, really awesome stuff there. So there she is, your Rebel transport vehicle. Absolutely awesome looking vehicle. Lovely detail. Lots of features. There were a couple of disappointing features, such as the 4 doors towards the back of the vehicle. Those are not operational. And then I think the scale might be off just a little bit as well. And then of course the seating on the inside is very, very tight for 4 3 1/4 size figures. But other than that, I think it is an absolutely awesome vehicle. Lovely detail, as I mentioned. Lots of moving parts. So guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Have you picked up the Imperial Trooper Transport Mandalorian version? Do you have any of the predecessors of this vehicle? And how does it compare to those? Unfortunately, I do not have any of the predecessors to this vehicle, but I am very happy to have this particular vehicle in my collection, guys. So let me know what your thoughts are. Put those comments down below. Please like and subscribe. And of course, guys, from the Father to the Son to the Obi-Wan Force Ghost, may the Force be with you always.